It was a great moment of great anticipation. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis made his presidential run for the White House official. The launch was supposed to happen on Twitter with Elon Musk, but this is what greeted people on the site for about 25 minutes. The Twitter live chat was mostly silent, causing hundreds of thousands of people to leave the feed. But we finally heard from DeSantis, but only his audio. Listen.
Well, I am running for president of the United States to lead our great American comeback. American decline is not inevitable. It is a choice. And we should choose a new direction, a path that will lead to American revitalization.
Team DeSantis later posted this video to Twitter showing DeSantis saying he, quote, broke the internet. Later, DeSantis went on Fox News where viewers could actually see him, and he doubled down on his anti-woke agenda. Take a look.
But we will, as president, lean in against woke ideology and against the sexualization of children. It's wrong, Trey, what they're trying to do to these kids. We're not going to abide by it. And in Florida, we say we're the state where woke goes to die. You know, as president, I'm going to make sure woke ideology ends up in the dustbin of history.
So DBL Nation, after months of waiting, DeSantis is officially in the race for the White House, and we want to hear from you. Who do you want to see as the Republican nominee? Trump, DeSantis, Tim Scott, or Nikki Haley? Go to DBL right now to weigh in. We got the tag board up. Tori, you follow politics more than anyone.
Yeah.
What did you think about his announcement, and then what do you think about him running?
The announcement was poor. John Fusel-Sang, who I follow, just said he can't even hold a glorified conference call. The problem with the dead air, the hot mic, all of that is if you can't lead that, what else can't you lead? That's all voters are thinking. We don't want to wait around. We want you to be a produced final thing we can put our hands on. You can't trust that. So first of all, disaster for him to start. Second, I think Ron DeSantis needs to pick a different chief of staff or PR person. His focus is lasered on the LGBTQ community and the trans people and the book banning about all of that. That can't win you votes in a general election. When you deal with people in New York, California, where their friends and their brothers and their workers are trans, that doesn't translate, no pun intended. So for him, who has a fantastic resume, as you pointed out, Sam, to me earlier, should, in my mind, be focusing a little bit more on that and his differences with Trump rather than this extreme bigotry that I don't understand the long game. I don't get the long game here other than I don't like you because you're different than me. So until he changes his message, he isn't broad enough to carry the United States of America, period.
Yeah, this is not a good look, just to be perfectly honest.
Not good.
One,
not good.
When I have better ideas than someone who's running for president, that's a problem. Okay, that's a big problem. Get yourself a writer. Write yourself something inspirational. Produce that package. Get somebody that knows how to do that. Don't rely on this. I get what he was doing with Twitter. I totally get that, right? But have that packaged, have that ready to go. Then you go on and back it up on Fox News. Don't wait and just be like, that's really lame and very Mickey Mouse of just like, hey, I'm running for president. That's bad. Yeah. That's not a good look. Number two, I agree with what you said, hanging your hat on that whole woke agenda. I'm with it. I'm not for it. I think it's a great message, but to go all in, there's got to be some caveats. You got to say, listen, this is out of control. That's what I'm running for, but I'm going to put this back in place, and there's reasons for it. There's Black Lives Matter. We have to look out for the trans community, LGBTQ community. You have to incorporate that in your message. You can't go all in and go all in against everybody. And there was a third point that I forgot.
I like that you agreed with me, though, so thanks.
Well, yeah, he's leaning too hard on it. And people in the middle like me are like, well, dude, you can't go all in. Right. I don't like when people are too far left, too far right. It turns me off a little bit. And that whole packaging thing, I forgot what the third point was, but whatever. What do you think?
It might come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I can help you with the package because we heard.
Was that
we heard from a man.
That was funny.
You're right. It should have been pre-produced, especially because we wouldn't have known the difference at that point.
Exactly.
It should have been very polished, especially if you're throwing your hat in the ring to run for the president of the United States. He sounded like he was in a garage somewhere. The mic wasn't quite miking.
It's embarrassing.
And then the cameraman was apparently on a Bosu ball because it was like going from side to side. But I think what you're alluding to, Jeff, and I don't, maybe you're not, but I'll just say this. My feeling is he's trying to play Trump's game and he's really bad at it.
Such a good point. Such a good point, Erica.
There's a thing where people are so close to something and they realize that what one person is doing is successful, so they try to emulate it, and you're always going to be a really bad example of something that has been successful in the past.
Totally.
And as opposed to leaning into his portfolio of work or his education or things that might actually get
His
a person
service
in
to
the middle.
country.
Exactly.
Immigration in Florida.
He's trying to play a game that he doesn't understand all the rules to.
That was my third point. The dustbin of society. I'm like, that's a lame line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he wanted it to be big.
Okay, so one of the biggest questions hanging over DeSantis' campaign, can he survive in a matchup with former President Trump, as you guys were alluding to? Well, last night on Fox News, DeSantis took on Trump, but only indirectly. Watch.
There'll be slings and arrows, but I'm a big boy. I can take it. You know, there's a lot of people that have given a lot more than that so that this country can be free. You can see their tombstones in places like Arlington National Cemetery. So if the sacrifice I have to make is people are going to call me names, that pales into comparison what so many people have done for me throughout history so that I could live in a free country.
Meantime, other candidates seized the opportunity and mocked DeSantis for his glitchy campaign launch. President Biden posted a link to donate to his own campaign, tweeting, "This link works." Trump posted this video of a failed rocket launch. He also posted a message to Truth Social saying, "Rob, my red button is bigger, better, stronger, and is working. Truth, yours does not. Per my conversation with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, soon to become my friend." So what do we think this all means? And can DeSantis really win against Trump, Tori?
First of all, I think the red button, I don't get calling him Rob with quotes. His name is Ron. I don't get the joke there, but okay. I also don't get being friends with a dictator who starves his people and kills them mercilessly. That doesn't seem like a flex for me. No. DeSantis doesn't have the likability of Trump. He doesn't have the charisma of Trump. And what he doesn't have is the scope of Trump. Trump can talk about a bunch of things that the base will get revved up with the Muslim ban, with the wall, with immigration, with abortion. All we're seeing from DeSantis is this focus, and it's not going to play well.
Do you think if DeSantis, to all your points earlier, pivoted and leaned into his resume, which is Yale graduate, came from a middle-class family of immigrants, then went to Harvard and Harvard Law, became a judge, served our country, then worked with SEAL Team 1. Do you think if he leaned into all of that, that it would change his trajectory?
A hard yes. And why he isn't doing that is because he doesn't want to alienate Trump's base. He's trying to play nice and tiptoe, but as Erica said, you're going to lose that way. You got to start fighting back.
Interesting. All right, well, let's see what our viewers say. It looks like the front runner is Tim Scott at 38%. That is surprising to me.